Welcome back. Welcome to the discussion segment. Today we'll be discussing something relatable, something unique, something interesting. Of course, we're discussing about personal development, how to balance education, career, and entrepreneurship. As a single person, you could be a single guy or a single lady. So we'll get to learn today how to balance everything without, without leaving one for the other, and making sure that you have time to socialize and, meet up with friends and family as a single person. And I have someone amazing who will be doing the discussion with me today. She is a customer service advisor for one of the largest supermarkets in the United Kingdom, and a student and also a chef that runs a food blog. That's that's a multi-talented person. Person has multiple personalities here in one person. So she is Mary Abu Eleojo, who will be discussing today how to create a perfect balance to all areas of your life. Thank you so much for joining us. Good morning.
Very much for having me today. Thank you for the opportunity.
How are you doing today?
Oh, well, I'm doing good. The weather is good today.
Okay, so I said it earlier in the introduction that you are a customer care service representative for one of the largest supermarkets in the UK. You also run the food blog, and you're also a student. That's a whole lot, because even going to school, that's the education part as a student, it takes a whole lot of time. Having to go to school from morning down to evenings with so many projects and assignments, and you have to read up for exams and all of that. And then also running a food blog, having to write to make sure that you schedule all your posts and do other things. Maybe you have to take pictures as well, create content. It's so many work. And then you also have like a 9 to 5 or a job that you run as well. So how do you balance all of this? And I'm curious, really. I want to know how you balance it. So yeah, tell us.
Well, thank you very much for that. So how I balance, actually, I would say balance is not something easy. So I'm not here to say you do this, you do that, or some acquire motivational thing. Balance is not easy, but as understanding that it's not easy, you still have to have these skills. I mean, it's one of the most important skills for you to get there or to be successful. Nothing good comes easy to start with. So if you start waiting for the time where something gets easy, you probably never get to do anything. For my own personal life, having to juggle between school, work, content creation, and also having a social life, being there for my family members and friends, I would say it's just basically what works for me is prioritization. I mean, in economics, there's something they call scale of preference, right?
True. Yeah.
When you put everything that you have to do, all activities that you have to do, you try to balance them. And there's this thing that works for me. I could just put it out there. It's called the Eisenhower matrix. So it's the urgent, important, or urgent, not important matrix. You understand? Yeah. So when you say something urgent and it's important, firstly, my main purpose of being in the United Kingdom is to study. So that comes first before any other thing. So if I am to balance my life, I put that in order of importance. Schooling comes first for me. So when you say urgent and important, you know that these are things that you have to do right away. You cannot procrastinate this. There's no coming back to it. You have to do it right away. So the other one is not important, but it is urgent. These are the ones that you can actually delegate to people. I mean, my brother, when you say not important, but it is urgent, my brother can do that for me. Sometimes I just text my brother, I'm like, are you busy? Can you just do this to me? You delegate it and pass it to him. That is best. I don't have to really worry about that anymore. Then there are other ones that say it's not important and not urgent. Those are like your social media lifestyle. A lot of us spend so much time on social media that we tend to not do anything throughout the whole day. Not important, delete it out of your schedule. You don't need it, or you cut down the amount of time that you have to spend on social media. And luckily, I think Instagram has this time frame that you have to use. You can say that you don't want to spend more than 2 hours on social media, and when it's 2 hours, it reminds you that you spent almost 2 hours on social media, so it's time for you to log off. So that helps you also prioritizing your activities and sticking to it, because it's not enough for you to prioritize. If you're not disciplined enough to stick to what you prioritize, it's just a total waste of time. So I try to discipline myself that this is what I plan to do today, and I'm doing it, I'm sticking to it. I prioritize using these urgent and important matrix. It has helped me a whole lot. And I think everybody should do that.
Thank you so much for that. So basically it's prioritization, and just putting things at the top of your list, knowing which is urgent, which is not urgent at the moment, or which is important and urgent, and the other things like that. So let's talk a bit about yourself. Let's go personal. Let's go into your personal story. You like you said, you run a food blog. You create content basically on the food aspect. So how did you start? Can you give us a bit of your story, how you started this, how you actually became an entrepreneur? Because many people say that entrepreneurship is not 9 to 5. If you work a 9 to 5, you know that you can get to work at 9 a.m. in the morning and leave at 5 p.m. and you can have other time to do other things. But then if you're an entrepreneur, you literally work around the clock. You work from 12 a.m. to 12 a.m. the next day. There is really no rest time, to do other things. So what prompted you into starting, your food blog? What prompted you to starting content creation, given the fact that you have other things like your schooling and then also a job that you go to?
Okay, so I think there's a lot of questions in one question. So entrepreneurship to me I say entrepreneurship is independence and having a creative mind, and also the ability to put this creativity into providing useful services for people. So when I say that entrepreneurship means independence, personally talking about my own personal experience, from the kind of family that I grew up in. I mean, my mom did a whole lot of things when we were growing up. So entrepreneurship started with my mom, basically. My mom had a regular job, a 9 to 5, that she usually, and then she had this shop very close to the house. So my mom did a whole lot of things in that shop, starting from sewing clothes. My mom is a very good tailor. She used to be active involved in tailoring before stage and all of that. So she used to make clothes for people. My mom used to travel to Lagos to buy sewing materials to sell in that shop. My mom used to travel to Ibadan. There's this market they sell yam in Ibadan. Then I can't remember the name. My mom used to travel all the way to Ibadan to buy yam just to sell in the shop. She would buy pepper. The shop was a big space, so it could contain a whole lot of things. So she would buy, sell, and on the side we had this show glass. You know what they call show glass?
Yes.
That you put your cakes, donuts, puff and chin. These are all the things my mom can do, and she could do and can still do. Do you know what I mean? And my mom can do tie and dye. I can't count the number of things my mom knows how to do. So when I say that independence, it means that from the way I've seen my kind of person my mom appears to be and seems to be to me, when things run out in the house, we didn't have to wait for my dad before stocking it back. So that's the independence I'm talking about. My mom literally could stand in gap for my dad whenever he wasn't available to do something. So that gave me a sense of responsibility and a sense of independence that, no, I love what my mom is doing. I love the fact that the house keeps running even in my daddy's absence. So it kind of built this sense of responsibility for me, and that was where my entrepreneurship journey started from. So I started making from food to start with. In my undergraduate days, during holiday seasons, when I get back home, we used to have a couple of people that used to patronize me to sell, to make soup for them in bowls. I mean, I didn't know what profit was really at that time, but there was this joy that came with me being able to provide a service for people and in turn getting money. So for me, it was a big thing. So afterwards, after school, after I graduated, I went for service, and then I started drop shipping. Where someone posts, you take those pictures, you post on your own social media, you get people to buy at your own gain. I mean, the gain was no more than 300, 500 at the time, but there was this sense of fulfillment that I could literally do something with my own hands and with my brain. So I didn't have to have a lot of money to buy goods for people to sell. I mean, this person had money from China. All I just had to do was just post the pictures and then had my own gain and get my money. So afterwards, I discovered that I didn't really like drop shipping. I mean, I tried a whole lot of things. I didn't like drop shipping, and then I switched into selling clothes. I sold Okirika. I
Wow.
used to get clothes from my suppliers in Lagos, send them to Ibadan. And at that time, I'd already started working a 9-to-5 job. So I
Wow.
was juggling between making food for people, selling clothes. I mean, anyone who sells Okirika will know that it takes a whole lot of work.
Yeah,
You have to
true.
work, you have to iron them just to look presentable and attractive to your customers. You have to wear them so your customers can see how they look and patronize you and buy these things. So I was juggling between 9 to 5, selling clothes and cooking food for people. So basically, this was inbuilt from home. It was what I saw my mom doing, and I kind of imbibed my own self, and it became a culture for me. So entrepreneurship, I would say, it started from home. It started from me wanting to have a sense of independence and wanting to be responsible. I mean, I don't have to ask anybody for anything before I'm able to do something for myself. That's the way we've been brought up. All my siblings are entrepreneurs. They have something going on for themselves. I started 9 to 5. So basically, that's been my entrepreneurship journey. And now I'm a content creator. I'm a food blogger. I enjoy creating content. That's what I do in my spare time. So entrepreneurship basically started from home, to be honest. That's been my journey so far.
Thank you so much for that. So were you tired at some point and you wanted to call it quits, like, oh, you just didn't want to move on because the work or the burden was a whole lot on you, having to create content, do this, take pictures, do videos, and all of those things? Did you ever get tired at some point, even with the fact that you had a priority list, you knew what you could do and what you wanted to delegate to other people? But did you ever get tired at some point?
Well, we are all humans, so it's definitely I'll definitely get tired at some point. So I'm not even going to say that no, I'm a robot. I don't get tired. There are times that I just feel drained, overwhelmed, and I just feel like, okay, I'm just going to rest. But have I ever wanted to call it quit? 100% no.
Wow.
Because
this is the first time I'm hearing that somebody has never thought about calling it quit or saying I'm not doing this anymore. I think that I want to just relax and do something else, and so please, I really want you to buttress more on that.
So anything I start, my own kind of person, anything I start, I will always finish. It has to get to the end. If you haven't gotten to the end, there's this saying that now goes that you don't get evidence. I mean, if you start and you don't finish, who do you want to tell that actually did it but it didn't work? You don't have evidence. So anything I start, there's no quitting for me. It's not in my gene. I think it's a family thing. We don't say that. We are not. It's okay for you to get tired. I get tired a lot of times. I get overwhelmed. I sometimes I just feel like today, no content creation, nothing. I just want to sleep in this bed all through the day. That's okay for me. It's a time to refill my energy. But I never say that I want to close down my page or I'm never doing again. No, I've never thought about it. Never.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. So I really want to ask about your opinion on balance. What would you say about balance? Do you think that it is far-fetched? Do you think the word balance is too ambiguous? Many people feel like, oh, nobody can actually attain balance. Many people say that no human being can attain balance. Balance is too much of a word that people overuse. It's overrated. Yeah, it's overrated. Like you can't attain balance. Well, how do you want to be balanced in doing more than one thing? Except you're doing one thing, then yes, you can say, okay, you can have a level of balance. But then doing more than one thing, having to prioritize your time or having to split your time between other things, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 things. Do you think that balance can actually be achieved? And then you have you can split in, if you have like 100%, you can split 25% of your attention into 4 different things, and at the same exact the exact time, the exact figure, and you can split your attention and give it your best in all areas.
Okay, I think we talked about this earlier. So balance is a challenging one. I understand. But how do you even measure balance? Who measures balance? I think balance has to do with who you are, like your own personality, what you think as balance. is balance, to be honest. If you think that in a day, this is what I've set to do, and if I've been able to do that, and I have time to sit and breathe and relax, I think I'm balanced for the day. I think balance basically has to do with personality and who you are. For me, when I say that balance, because I already even explained earlier about the Eisenhower matrix, you delegating your activities, dividing in the order of importance. I don't think you cannot be balanced. I don't think so. I don't subscribe to the fact that someone has to suffer for the other. Once you know what you are, like, where you know where you're going to, no matter how long it takes for you to get there, no amount of branches that you make on your journey to achieving greatness, no amount of branches should deter what you really want to get in your life to start with. So I don't think you cannot get balance. It just depends on your own personal definition of balance. What I subscribe to as balance might not be what you subscribe to as balance. Balance has to
is relative.
It's relative. You understand? If I say balance has to involve my social activities, has to be included in everything I do. What if I'm not even someone that has a social life? I don't even enjoy it personally. It's not like a bad thing, but I don't just enjoy social activities. I just want to stay in my space. So my own definition of balance involving social activities will not work for someone who does not have a social activity or social life. So balance is really relative. You can't really say that you want to define balance, or you want to get balance, or you want me to conform to your own definition of balance. But this is possible if for your own personal self, you just have to align what you want to do, things you need to do, and how you want to do it. That's the way you can get balance. But you cannot compare type of balance to my own type of balance. It's relative, to be honest. That's the way I see it.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Balance is relative. And now, okay, we are basically trying to dispel myth, around balance, around doing different things at the same time. Now, many people also say that, there's something called social mindset, because a group of people have said this. Over time, it now becomes the reality, or it becomes the fact. So we are I want to know your opinion about this. That many people say, doing so many things at the same time is wrong. You're supposed to focus your attention on one thing. If you want to be an entrepreneur, focus your attention on being an entrepreneur. If you want to have a 9-to-5, focus your attention on that. You cannot say you want to be an entrepreneur and probably have a 9-to-5, or say you have 3 other things you're doing, 4 other things that you are doing. It makes you a master of none. And for you to go far, for you to be able to dig deep and maybe get the gems in that aspect or in that area or field where you are, you should be able to focus on just that one thing and create a niche, basically out of it, and just stay there and do it for a long time to be the master at that thing. And now you do like 2-3 other things, and you are excelling at it, you are succeeding at it. So would you say that it is right, that mindset of saying not doing so many things is it a myth? Or would you probably agree or not agree to it that, okay, not doing so many things is actually not right, and focusing at one thing is the best to do, so you can become a master at it and not a servant at everything?
Okay, I get what you're saying. To me, people would say that jack of all trades, master of none. I count them as being lazy people. No knowledge is a waste, to be honest. They will always come in handy at some point in your life. So if you say that look at the situation of our country right now. Is it something you want to say that you only want to do just one particular thing? Even Yoruba people always have this saying that one way doesn't lead to the market. You have to be up and doing. You can't just say, okay, this is what you want to do with your life. What if at this point this thing is not working? Is there any other thing you can put your attention to? Get income for the meantime until deal starts coming up. So I don't believe in that, because looking back from the kind of family I came from, my mom is well, and she's living fine. She did a whole lot of things. I mean, combining lots of things. If it's to dye clothes today, my mom can make batik and dye clothes for people. If it's to make cake, my mom used to bake all our cakes when we were growing up. Birthdays, we never went out to make cakes. For our Christmas wears, we never went out to make Christmas wears. My mom used to sew our clothes for us all the time, every Christmas, So I don't believe that knowing a whole lot of things will make you not get, master one particular thing. Right now, I subscribe to this school of thought that thinks that no knowledge is a waste. It will always come in handy. Let's be honest. Okay, right now, I know a bit of photography. It's necessary for you to know a little bit of something. And no matter what it is, even if you're not going to need it at this time, know it, learn it, keep it in your mind, hold it somewhere. One way or the other, you will be needing it. I know a little bit of photography. I understand lighting when it comes to photography. I'm not the photographer, but I have that knowledge. It's a culinary people. I know, I even though you cannot know everything in culinary, but I know basics. I know the things that I'm supposed to know, and I'm still learning. Right. When it comes to analyzing data, I learned a little bit of data analysis. I can analyze data, I can do that. So you saying that, when people say this, sometimes it baffles me, because it's as terrible as you going to work in the morning and then you lose one of your buttons on your shirt, and you end up not wearing that shirt because you cannot fix a button. Now, I'm not saying this from the perspective of a tailor's child, but these are basic things that you don't even have to say that you want to learn tailoring before. I've met people who cannot fix. You can't even rub powder as a woman. You cannot even apply makeup by yourself. You have to look for a makeup artist. All these things they will come in handy. So you're saying that doing a whole lot of things, I juggled a whole lot of things together. I mean, I did drop shipping. I sold the car. I was doing 9 to 5. I'm still living. I'm not dead. So saying that is just you making excuses to not do things that you're supposed to do. It's a saying of lazy people. I'm sorry to say that. But that's beyond. So juggling a lot of things together does not mean that you will not at least master one of it, except you don't want to know it. So it's just a thing of the mind. If you don't want to know it, you cannot know it. There's no to it. So I don't subscribe to that school of thought. It's not in my dictionary. I don't know about it. I still want to learn more. You want to get to learn, have more knowledge, because it will come in handy. You never can tell when you will need it. And when you have ideas about different things, when people start to discuss about these things, when you go for social gatherings, you don't just look stupid in between. Like, you don't just stand there looking like you don't know what they're saying. At least you know something about it. You can contribute. You can say something about it. It makes you look like you know what you are doing with your life, to be honest. So I don't subscribe to it, honestly. It's not my thing. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you so much on that. And then another mindset that the society has actually turned to be the reality or the fact is that as a woman or as a lady, single lady doing so many things at the same time, people tag single ladies doing many things as independent ladies, like, oh, you are too independent, you wouldn't get a husband to marry you, or you wouldn't get a man to marry you, you are too independent, you have a car, you have a house, you know all of those things. Many people say that, oh, you're about to say oniri oko or something like that, like, oh, you wouldn't be able to go to the husband, no man would see you and want to marry because you are too independent. Please, I want you to talk about this in relation to everything that you do, everything that you're a single lady, you do so many things. This statement, this truth that many people think it is, do you think this is right? Do you think it's something that should still be said in the 21st century?
Thank you. It was a last statement I wanted to say, actually. This century we are in, if anyone still believes that, then I would say it's a very ridiculous mentality, to be honest. I mean, if you have to, I would not advise anyone to limit their potential just to fit into someone else's box. So I will use this as an example. I wear glasses because my eyes are sensitive to light. I'm not going to say that, God, please take this light. I don't want it. Take off this light. I don't want to see brightness. I'm not the only one living in this life. If it's not comfortable for me, I get a glasses, or I don't know, you find something. So if my light affects your eyes, if my light is so bright that you cannot stand it, you either get a sunshade or you move out of my life. It's that simple. I'm never allowing anyone shape me into their own definition of a perfect woman. Like, because you are doing so many things, you will bruise your husband's ego, you will bruise your man's ego. That's a very shallow thinking, to be honest. If you cannot, you have, as a lady, be with someone that is your biggest cheerleader. I mean, you are taking an award and your husband is somewhere shouting in the crowd, "That's my wife, that's my wife." That's the kind of person you should be. Never ever limit your potential to please someone. Never dim your light so someone else's light can shine better than yours. No, never shrink yourself so that you can fit into someone's box or someone's definition of a good woman. Go all out for yourself. I am an advocate of a woman going all out for herself. Like, be selfish about your goals, be selfish about your aspirations. This is not even about a woman, a single person, a man or a woman. Oh, because my wife said this, my girlfriend said this, I don't want to do it because. And this has got nothing to do with you disobeying your partner. Before I get quoted wrongly, these are two different things. Go all out for your dreams. This is what you want to achieve. Never let anybody limit you. Don't, because you don't want to bruise someone's ego, now say, "Oh, let me calm down. No, let me not take the contract." My dear kids. Honestly, that's my own school of thought. I'm never going to dim my light for someone else to shine. I'm never going to shrink myself to fit into someone's idea of a good woman or don't do too much work so that you can see us back to marry. That's a shallow thinking. Trust me. Never like to someone else. That's just the main thing I have to say. Never shrink yourself.
Shrink.
Someone's work.
Yes.
No, never. Don't.
Thank you. I really hope that, you know, our viewers or anybody will be listening to this, you know, yes, and never shrink your life because of somebody else. You have a life, and you know, it's so you think that, okay, this is the 21st century. Many people should be more enlightened about the fact that you can actually achieve more as a woman or more as a single person, whether you're married or not. But then you still hear things like, I've had conversations with people who do not want to go all the way out because, oh, I'm single, I'm not yet married, I don't know who is going to marry me when I achieve this, when I achieve that. And it still exists everywhere. That's why I had to ask the question, so that, you know, maybe for some people, they feel like they want to hear from another person. That's why I had to ask that question, so that other people can hear and know that you shouldn't shrink your life because of, you know, of someone else, or because of some mindset, societal mindset that, you know, the society has placed in people's mind. And so we have one last question before we go. I have one last question before we go. Can you just give us a typical rundown of your day? How, when you start your day, what do you do first? How do you, you know, go through your day to make sure that at least you can tick a majority of your to-dos in your to-do list?
Okay, so personally, I have a regular job, a 9 to 5. Though it's a shift based, I could be on a 10 to 5 this week and then a 12 to 8 next week. It depends. So me planning ahead, and thankfully my shift comes about 3 weeks ahead, so I'm able to, you know, plan my time 3 weeks ahead. So I know that I want to create content. Firstly, that's the most important for me. I want to create content. Every day I have to shoot a recipe. Is important because that's basically my own personal life. So I wake up in the morning, usual thing, you have to pray to God, because I can't do anything without my God anyway. That's the way I start my life. So if I'm to work on that day, say I have my shift for that week is 8 to 4. I go to work, nothing comes in the way of that. 8 to 4. After my 8 to 4, what do I do with my time? I know that maybe I have an assignment to submit. I plan myself from 4:30. I mean, I give myself to rest 30 minutes after work. From 4:30 to 5:30, I want to be able to achieve this. Maybe I want to be able to write 1,000 words in my essay before an hour. So that's sorted already for me, and I'm sticking to it. I am so passionate about discipline at this stage of my life right now. I'm sticking to that. From 4:30 to 5:30, I want to write 1,000 words for my dissertation, for my essay, and that's it. Then from 5:30, I want to make content, because no day passes by without me creating content. I have to do it. Whether I am tired or not, it's something I must create time for, so it's important. So from 5:30 to about 7:30, I want to create content. Then from 7:30, maybe I just want to play music and dance in my room, because I do a lot of dancing a lot by my own self. That's my own, you know, like relax. That's my form of relaxation.
Relaxing.
So yeah, that's like a step-by-step process for me in a day. It starts from me having a to-do list. I have this sticky notes where I write my to-do list, what to do in a day. Okay, I'm going out to get ingredients. So time from so time, I have to be back. There's no time to waste in the shop. Do what you have to do and get back home. All this is not enough for you to plan all these things. If you're not disciplined, it's just a waste of time. So the most important thing here is discipline. Make sure that you plan your day, and when you are planning your day, you make sure that you are sticking to it. That's the most important. I am so particular about discipline right now, and I don't procrastinate anymore. I used to suffer with procrastination a lot, and it has not helped me. So I have learned to not procrastinate, because so that's when discipline comes in. You know what I mean? So if you don't procrastinate, if you are disciplined, you know that procrastination is a thief of time.
Yeah,
so you have to do what you have to do. So basically, that's where I plan my day. I have a to-do list. I have a jotter where I put down things I need to do. I stick it to one part of the house. When it's done, I go ahead to tick it. Every time I go ahead to tick it. And at the end of the day, I see that I'm already done. I already covered everything that I need to cover in a day. And that works for me perfectly. That's the way I've been running my life. And it's been pretty easy for me, to be honest.
Thank you so much for your time. I really, I actually enjoyed that rundown, and I think that for many people that are listening, they would also implement it. Have a to-do list, make sure they tick it, and make sure they do not procrastinate, because procrastination is actually a thief of time, and many people actually procrastinate a lot. There's this saying, "I will do it tomorrow. I will do it tomorrow." Tomorrow comes, and then it never gets done, and then next day I will do it tomorrow. Thank you so much once again for joining us. It was really an insightful conversation. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Bye.
All right, bye. Have a good day.
And that's all we have for you on the discussion segment. As our guest said, you need to prioritize. You need to know what's important, what is urgent, what is not important, and what is not urgent. You need to have a to-do list for yourself, and you need to make sure you do not procrastinate. And also, as a lady, you shouldn't shrink yourself because of anybody. You can be the best that you can be. I'm sure you've learned this and many more. Till I come your way again next time, I remain Grace Cofie. Bye.